Hello, is this Sinister Gambino here with a new video, and in this video I will be going over all of Gerald's contact missions in Grand Theft Auto Online. So unlike with Lamar, he does not have any additional missions that were added with DLC. However, he does appear in some of the Lamar missions. But regardless, just note that this video length doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be talking for all 46 minutes and 50 seconds. So if I break in terms of talking, I'll leave a time code on the video. But regardless, let's get into all the details. First of all, I forgot certain things when I was going over the introduction, but most of it has to do with when exactly certain features I went over in the introduction, with contact missions in general, were introduced. Just to add on to the fun fact portions of these videos. So first, RP and cash bonus for completing a mission with the mission session starting mode, the free game, was added title update 1.07. So it wasn't always rewarding at all to do missions in free game. Don't really think missions are worth doing in free game unless if it's like the one on screen where you're easily able to camp in an armored Kuruma. And then the ability to start contact missions from the pause menu was in title update 110 over, of course. Surprised it took so long for them to make it where you can do a contact mission from the pause menu. And then the ability to reduce the player's mental state, which was introduced with the High Life update by spending time in missions, was added in title update 1.13. Not sure if that's the same update mental state was introduced in, but that is a thing as of title update 1.13. And then the last title update that really added anything like contact missions in terms of how they work is the last couple things I'm going over that is in the trivia section that I forgot. The ability to earn more cash by simply completing a mission with more players was in title update 1.16. It debuted in that title update. And they also reduced the minimum income for most missions. However, as they were relative to time, the maximum payouts were also increased. And then just a couple general things about contact missions in terms of the fun facts section to start off this video is that a contact mission is only mission type where you can call Pegasus and your mechanic to get vehicles help with the mission. Because apparently if you fail a heist you can't call your vehicle. Reason for that is, of course, you can't really use the mechanic apparently. So if you're planning to use a really good vehicle for a heist, you definitely should try not to die. Especially this vehicle on the screen right now, the armored Kuruma, that will be really good even for heists. And then finally, it can only be failed if everyone in a team dies, unlike in heist, where even if not everyone dies, you will lose. Logically so, as it's a team-based mode, a very heavily team-based mode at that. So now we will be going over Gerald's missions in terms of like the statistics and everything. Now don't be surprised if I go over like the first 4 to 5 contact missions or so, since I only get to record 10 video clips on my video editor on a single video, then I can't make any more. So I kind of have to go over like 4 or 5. So we'll start off with peer pressure, which to get the first 4 contact missions of Gerald's are available from rank 6. and they're all 1 to 4 players for his rank 6 contact missions. The first one we're going over, peer pressure. Its hard RP reward is 1,000. And then the flat rate in terms of money before the 1.16 update for the mission was $1,125. And then the maximum money you can make on hard difficulty, taking 16 plus minutes, is $18,360. Which, by the way, that will go for all 4 of his rank 6 missions. So regardless, I'm going to see if there's any fun facts I want to go over. Just a single fun fact for the first mission, which was one clip ago, is its name is a play on the term peer pressure. Very obviously so. But I'm going to try to squeeze as much as I can, just to try to make this series as interesting as it can in any way, shape, or form. So on to Gerald's second contact mission, which was in the previous clip, Death Metal. Like I said, also rank 6, 1 to 4 players. The hard RP reward is 1,320. The flat rate before the 1.16 update was $1,500. And then, like I said before, it also has a maximum of $18,360 as of the 1.16 update and beyond. So now let's see if there's any fun facts on this, and there really is not. And actually I should go over some stuff as well. Like just a small little thing on certain stuff. The maximum number of enemies to kill apparently on peer pressure, which we previously went over, is 11. And then Death Metal. The maximum number of enemies to kill on that mission was 12. So if anything, you might want to go for the first mission of those two. In terms of making money. In terms of effort and everything. As on the screen right now is the mission Deal Breaker, however. Also available at rank 6, 1 to 4 players, 1,340 RP max at hard difficulty. And then the flat rate was low, measly $750 apparently, before the 1.16 update. And then the maximum money you can make spending 16 plus minutes on the mission Deal Breaker is also $18,360, like I've mentioned. And then the maximum number of enemies is 14. However, there's an SUV that goes in pursuit against you. Total 4 enemies. That's where 4 of those come from. Those enemies can be really easy to not worry about, technically. And then, for fun facts of this mission, it shares its name with a multiplayer mission in Grand Theft Auto 4, which I can recall there being a mission called Deal Breaker in Grand Theft Auto 4. By the way, that doesn't mean the episodes, it means just the original Grand Theft Auto 4, since it was the one with all those modes. The Lost and Damned had some, like, modes as well, and that was, like, unique, but Baldur's Tony just had, like, traditional modes, but they were still fun to me. Just add on to the fun facts section there. And this mission we're doing right now is Flood in the Ellis River, the last rank 6 mission that Gerald has. Also 1 to 4 players, 1,400 RP on hard difficulty. Flat rate before the 1.16 update was $2,250. And then $18,360, like I've mentioned as well. So, the maximum number of enemies in the mission is apparently 20, which is 12 initial enemies and then 4 ballers, SUVs with 2 people. So that's where the rest of the 8 come from. And no fun facts for that one. So now we're going to go on to our rank 7 mission, being messed up, which is, yeah, you have to be rank 7 at a minimum to play this one. 1 to 4 players again. Hard RP is 1100, and then flat rate was 3750, which will be the same for the next mission we'll go over. And then $18,420 is the maximum pay you can get on this mission, which, like I've mentioned before, every rank increase in terms of the requirement will basically get you $60 more. And this one I recommend the Oppressor Mark II, but just don't go for the people right next to the camper, since of course you're probably going to blow it up, logically so. So I would kill everyone on the roof, and then kill the other 2 people on the ground with like melee or something. I think that's the most efficient way really to do it, since you have to go all the way out to Sandy Shore, so if you're in the city, it's also going to help going for the Oppressor Mark II as well. I would recommend it the Luxo instead, but there's less than 20 enemies, so the Oppressor Mark II will be an easier option to use in this case. And then the maximum number of enemies to kill in this one is 19, with 15 initial enemies, and then 2 bikers, and then 2 cars and 1 bike, each with 2 persons on board. And then there's a good bit of fun facts on this one. Ironically, the players attacking territory of Trevor Phillips Enterprises, and then later on in Grand Theft Auto Online you become affiliated with Trevor. And let's just say the Grand Theft Auto Online timeline just really doesn't make sense. Also, the later mission, Crank Up the Volume, requires the player to steal a journey to bring back to Ace Looker. So I guess you're basically taking another, journey, like another similar vehicle to this, if not the exact vehicle, to the same location where you stole this one. The mission might be a reference to the TV series Breaking Bad, which the main character uses an RV cooking method. Not surprised in that one. Apparently the character Chef is a random enemy on the liquor store rooftop, which really doesn't make sense because he plays a major role in the story mode. And then the name of the mission is a play on the term messed up. The mission's original name was apparently Trevor's Enigma, so they really emphasized that you're going against him in the original mission name. And then 2 family members are seen at the ending, as seen on the screen not too long from now. So now, to go over No Hey Bronco, which is which is rank 8, 1 to 4 players again. Hard RP is 1,320. Flat rate is also 3,750, and then the maximum pay you can get for 16 plus minutes is $18,480. Now this one's kind of a unique mission, and there's 2 different vehicles I recommend in this mission because of how 2 different parts of it work. For the first part, as you'll see, I recommend the Armored Kuruma, since it's going to be the typical steal a package and deliver it to Gerald, as most of his missions are. Must say though, he has much more variety in his missions than Lamar does. So that's definitely a really good thing about Gerald's missions. I personally don't think he pays much better, but really, I think it's worth it for what you're doing and everything. With it being one of the earliest characters you can meet, actually, is what I mean. But for miscellaneous things, I have to go over maximum number of enemies to kill was 41 plus. So I guess maybe it's usually 41, maybe more, including like the vehicles that chase you. It's kind of vague in this case on the GTA wiki. And then we got decent bit of fun facts on this one as well, apparently. Oh hey, Bronca is Spanish. Selling for no problem, apparently. Gang members arriving in SUVs. When rescuing, Stanley will attack the other gang members, ironically. Even if Stanley dies, mission will not fail, as seen on the gameplay. You just have to steal the coke or whatever. The leaders of Vagos slain in the Phoenix is a possible reference to the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas mission, A Home in the Hills, where another leader of the same gang escaped Carl Johnson in the same car. Totally remember that mission. Killing the leader of the Vagos before he has escaped will sometimes result in a mission success due to a glitch, so I guess you can have an early mission success if you really wanted to. But sometimes maybe not as well. So I guess if I could have killed him earlier, maybe. So that might be a tip in this mission, is if you know where to go to kill the Phoenix person or the gang leader in this mission before you kill all the other people, you might be able to pass the mission earlier than I did. If you're going for time complete, that's probably gonna result in kind of significantly less pay, since I don't know what I got on here until it shows on this video. On my perspective right now, if Stanley is rescued, he will continue to follow the player and will shoot against the Vagos. Sometimes he will be frightened and stay on the vehicle, and the player isn't and will never leave, apparently. So there's different variations with the AI that you rescue in this, if you can rescue him, which most times you probably won't, to be honest. And then, I actually kind of lied about there not being DLC missions for Gerald and other characters, but what I mean is they're not really significant in their typical contact missions as compared to like the Lamar missions or the Lamar lowrider missions and then the dispatch services of Martin. They're more like typical contact missions. To be fair, Martins were more typical as well. Of course, we haven't seen like DLC contact missions for years when we got those in early 2018. So, back to our next mission, which will be on the gameplay next. You have to be rank 10 to unlock this one. Being hit him up. And it's 1 to 4 players, 2,180 RP on hard is what you'll get. Flat rate before the 1.16 update was $2,250. And then $18,840 is the maximum you'll get on this mission, apparently. And it was added with the High Life update. For whatever reason, they added a contact mission for Gerald. So I'm not seeing details on the amount of enemies on this page on GTA Wiki for some reason. But yeah, this one you kill like weird named people. But there's a couple tips on this mission, because it is so like more of a long one, probably the longest recording I have on this video, where it says if in a team of 4 each person can go to one location as long as the Ballas members are killed in order. So you have to kill them in order apparently if you want to try shortcutting the mission. And then as the last 2 members are in Blaine County, the player can take off-road shortcuts to save time. But for this one I recommended Deluxe though anyways. Which this is one of Gerald's missions, or maybe you might want to have that second player because even if you're really good with the deluxe, you're probably still gonna have people to kill. I just recommend it because it has super good missiles, but you could maybe even use something like the FH1 Hunter as well in its barrage to kill off the people in the interior, as you'll see later in the clip. And if the player knows which member to kill on the first 3 locations, they can kill the member and flee if they don't want to enter a shootout with the ballas. And a few fun facts of this. It was one of 8 new contact missions with the High Life update. I'm not going to read the list because we'll go over them all individually in the series. And then in what is an error from Rockstar, Newswire poster mission says it's unlocked at level 10, but in-game missions unlocked at level 14. But wait, why did the table say it was unlocked at rank 10? And then the name of the mission is a reference to the song Hit 'Em Up by Tupac Shakur RIP, which had a large role in exacerbating the East Coast-West Coast top rivalry. And then a rare glitch may occur as well, where all targets will not spawn correctly, resulting in a mission failure. And then I'll go over one more, and then might jump to another clip, of course. So the next mission Gerald has is Gassed Up, which you have to be rank 12 or more. 1 to 4 players again, which is for all but one specific mission, which will be seen later. 1,310 RP on hard is the maximum with no modifiers. Flat rate before the patch 1.16 update was $1,500. And apparently I should get less money on this one than you do for the rank 10 mission, maximum being $18,720, being a $120 difference, and I don't know why. Fun fact about this mission actually is that it takes place at exactly 2100 in game, meaning 9 o'clock at night. Which is pretty interesting. It's one of the missions where you have to do it at like a certain time, and if you pull up the phone on the mission, you'll realize the time does not change. But now we're going to go to the next clip, so there will be a little bit of time in this video where I do not talk.
What's up? Come on, man! Y'all ready to get down? Damn, you hit? Son of a bitch! Down! Hey, look out! Damn, man! Somebody got clapped. Yeah! You ain't got nowhere to go. Get down! Fuck this! Take cover. Got any last words, player? You're a dead man! Fall back! Shit! I need some more fucking ammo. We got one down. Let's fucking. Motherfucker. Keep me safe. Help me. I'm reloading. You gonna be full of holes when I'm done, motherfucking fool. Fucking fool. Get down! motherfucker! This is the last day of your life, motherfucker, you feel me? Fucking fool. You dead, motherfucker, you dead, you heard? Yo, bitch! Bonus money, fuck you! Motherfucker, we got one of our... I'ma kill you. Uh-huh. Great.
Next, we have the mission Violet Duct. And by the way, for anyone that may be confused, I went over the last two missions, like, towards the end of my talking. So, I went over the mission that was on display, and then the clip after. So, for the gas set mission, you'll want to go to the previous clip to watch that. If for some reason you want to watch a whole mission gameplay, which I have them just in there, just in case, if someone wants to see how the whole mission plays out. That's the whole purpose of me doing whole clips like I do, unedited and whatnot with the video portion of it. But for the audio, let's go over Violent Duct now, which is on the screen right now, which requires you to be at least rank 15. 1 to 4 players again. 1,180 RP hard. $2,250 is the flat rate of money in which you get apparently in this mission before the patch 1.16 update, so it's no longer relevant, but I like bringing it up just for more completeness. And then $18,900 is the maximum you'll get on this mission. And then there is one fun fact on this mission, which I actually remember being a day one player and whatnot, but you had to play really early to know about this before I read it off. The mission became infamous for allowing players to boost millions of dollars within hours by exploiting a replay glitch. Example can be seen here. Rockstar patched it in the 1.2 update though, making players permanently unable to replay missions. So it's one of the earliest things I've talked about, if not the earliest thing I've talked about that's been patched in any way, shape, or form in this game. If I remember correctly, basically you would blow up the package, since back then they didn't make it a mission fail for blowing up mission packages, and instead it would pass the mission instead, if I remember correctly. So people would exploit that, basically, and then just be able to get millions of dollars quickly, back when money wasn't really important as well, of course, since there was no DLCs at the time, and no overly priced items and everything. So anyone who's done that back then basically ended up being rich for like the rest of the game, I'm guessing. Or at least for a while. But regardless, the next mission we're going over is hard labor, as shown on screen right now. You have to be at least a rank 19, and then it's also 1 to 4 players. 2,250 RP on hard difficulty is what you'll get, and then $7,500 was the flat rate of money you would get before the 1.16 update. And then the maximum money you can get is $19,140 if you spend 16 plus minutes on a mission. And this one was actually added with the Independence Day update. Yeah, they actually added contact missions on the Independence Day update. And then there's tips on this mission, and then a couple facts. Apparently the stairs to the roof of the construction site are barricaded, so be cautious when going up there. But I was also able to use it with the Armored Kuruma. I did a test run with the Armored Kuruma, and I was able to get it all the way up to the roof. You just might take a little while, of course, in certain portions. A buzzard is the ideal helicopter to give chase to the boss to have an ability to fire homing rockets. Not really anymore, now it's more obsolete, and of course this has the very accurate homing missiles, so I recommend the deluxe though, and once you get to the roof, just save a missile for the helicopter. Enemy helicopter does not spawn until the second floor has been cleared, so don't waste time destroying it beforehand. In fact, I tried destroying it like before it took off, and ended up glitching out the mission, and I don't think there was a boss to kill, so you're basically gonna have the mission in an infinite loop if you try to move ahead in the mission. I just joined a chopper early. Helicopter will still land in the Palomino Highlands, even if the guards are killed or the helicopter shot a player lost at the landing location. So it will end up going more like towards Blaine County or whatever, if you don't end up killing the helicopter before it gets to its destination. So if you don't end up killing it while it's in the air, you will be able to kill the people on the ground eventually. You'll just have to follow the helicopter until it lands. And then none of the top 4 enemies are required to be killed. So once the helicopter spawns as seen in the gameplay, you can just go for it and end the mission. And if chasing through ground, grangers with 2 enemies each will appear. So if you're on the ground chasing a helicopter, just be wary of grangers. And then trivia for the mission was one of 3 new contact missions in the Independence Day special. And we'll go over others as we go on with the series. Building site location is subject to an out of bounds zone until the player unlocks top 4 objective, which is similar to a survival in that you will get an on-screen bounds warning with a 20-second countdown to get back to the zone. Failure to comply will end the mission. So once you get started with the mission, you'll really want to stay in the area of the construction site, of course, because if you even get out of it that much, a countdown will be displayed. So they do kind of limit you to when you can, to where you can be in the map. Regardless, we have War and Peace is up next, which requires you to be a rank 30 or above. Unless you're using a secondary character, I should mention, since then you'll have every mission that you've unlocked with your other character. 1 to 4 players as well. There's 2,160 RP you can get at max, no modifiers, on hard difficulty. The flat rate of money before the 1.16 update was $5,250. And then the maximum money you can make is apparently $19,800 on a mission nowadays as of the 1.16 update, as long as you spend over 16 minutes on the mission. And the maximum number of enemies to kill is 23 Lost MC members in the mission. And then there's just one fun fact for this mission. The mission's name refers to the classic adage of War and Peace, classic duality among hippies. And then we'll go on to the next clip for the next portion of the video.
I.
For the next mission, which I'm going over, we have 2 mash and grab, which you have to be at least a rank 35 in order to start the mission from the pause menu unless you're on a second character. And this does require 2 players, so you will need a random if you don't really have a friend to play this with you. Like I did. I just got random, and the random was actually not too bad. But any mission that requires more than 1 player, if for some reason you really want to be able to do it yourself, if you have like the friends that will do it, you You can have friends like temporarily join the mission with you and then leave. I've had cases where I've randomly put contact missions back then where where someone would randomly leave you and then the person just leaves and you're still able to do the mission. So you technically can't do any mission, like any actual contact mission with one player, for the most part at least. Not sure how it works with dispatch stuff, but it has worked for me with other missions. But there's that. The hard RP you get with no modifiers is 1900 RP. Flat rate of money you would get before the 1.16 update was $1,500. I think that increases by 500 due to the fact that you have to play it with 2 players. Because before I did this, since I knew I was practically only going to have one attempt to record this clip, I saw GTA series videos, playthrough of the mission. And I think they got 2,000 instead of that 1,500, because back then when they recorded it, it was when there was flat rates for money. And then the maximum amount of money you can make on this mission by spending 16 plus minutes is $20,100. Yeah, $20,100. And then there's just one fun fact for this mission that I see on the wiki. The mission's name refers to the term smash and grab, apparently, a slang term for breaking and entering crime or burglary. And then I will just talk a little until, of course, we get to the next clip. Since we are so close with the next clip, I don't really think I want to really save anyone much time. So I'll just let people see how this pans out. When you finish it, the person just had to put the vote right there that was working with the random. And then, last but not least, we're going to go with the Dish the Dirt mission, which is the last mission you unlock for Gerald. Which you have to be at least rank 45 in order to play this mission from the start menu, with exceptions, of course, I mentioned earlier in the video. It's 1 to 4 players again. It has the highest hard RP of all its missions, being 2,510 RP. The flat rate for the 1.16 update in terms of cash is $5,250. And then the maximum amount of money you can make for spending 16 plus minutes on the mission is $20,700. And this is another mission where it stays at 9 o'clock at night. And by the way, with this one, I actually recommend the weaponized Tampa. It's the only mission of Gerald's where I recommend the weaponized Tampa. Because the person with the coke will actually get away from the rest of the gang members, making it really easy to get the package. Of course you can go with the armored crew mode like the rest of them, but then you kind of have to you have to manually aim with like a micro SMG or something. I just think it's much simpler using the dual miniguns if you have that upgrade, or even any other sort of minigun that you have on the weaponized Tampa. And then the maximum number of enemies to kill on this last mission in Gerald's that we're going over, and pretty much in general, is 22, with 14 initial enemies, including 2 snipers. Apparently there's 2 snipers for enemies in this mission. I didn't really notice that, but I guess there is. 1 car with 2 enemies. I guess that's what happens when I'm in a vehicle in all these missions. I don't really notice if there's a sniper at all. 1 car with 2 enemies, and then 4 SUVs in pursuit, each filled with 2 enemies. And then all there is, pretty much, there isn't a fun fact, but there's a tip for this mission. The coke can be acquired more quickly if the player drives the vehicle nearer for the Vagos, Gang member with the coke will get spooked and drive southwest away from the rest of his gang. This makes him easy to take out, which is what you'll see on this video. But anyways, that is going to be it for this video, where I went over all of Gerald's contact missions. Of course, aside from any relating to the tutorial. Any other characters that go over all their missions that I'm going over, for the most part, will be on this video. Which will include all missions in this series for the basic videos, aside from the Lamar Lowrider missions and Martin's dispatch services. Those two different sets of contact missions will have their own videos. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed.
What you got?